autosomal recessive inheritance or autosomal recessive diseases. Autosomal recessive diseases are present in those individuals which have two mutant alleles. Because each individual inherits two alleles, if an individual inherits two mutated alleles from the parents, then such an individual is called as homozygous, and if both alleles are affected, then the individual would be affected, and this pattern of inheritance is called as autosomal recessive pattern, and the diseases they are called as autosomal recessive diseases. In case of autosomal recessive diseases, as the genes are in the form of pairs, chromosomes have alleles. If both the alleles which are present on homologous chromosome and both alleles are affected, the pattern would be called as autosomal recessive if the gene is present on the autosomes. Since each parent has two alleles, and the chance of inheritance of each of the allele is 50%, 50% chance would be from the father and 50% chance would be from the mother. So as a net chance of inheritance of the mutated alleles would be 25%. Here we can see the parents in case of autosomal recessive diseases. The parents, they are diploid. They have two alleles. This is allele normal, this is normal allele, and this is mutated allele. Same is with the second parent that has one normal allele and one mutated allele. M is for mutated allele, N is for normal allele. So each parent who are the carriers, they have two allele. One of the allele would be mutated and the second allele would be normal. During the process of gametogenesis, each of the parent would produce the gametes. These are the gametes of one parent and these are the gametes of the second parent. During the gametogenesis, both the allele, they separate from each other. So as a result of fertilization, we will see that if this allele comes from one of the parent and the second allele comes from second parent, such an individual would be called as heterozygous. So as a result of cross between two parents which are heterozygous, mean they contain one mutated allele and one normal allele. So as a result of such a cross, there would be possibility that 25% would be the affected individual and remaining 50% would be the carriers and 25% would be the pure normal. So when parents, they are heterozygous and the pattern of disease is recessive, then the possibility of being affected for each of the children would be 25%. Recessive diseases appear in progeny of unaffected parents. In most of the cases or in most of the pedigrees, we see that recessive diseases appear where parents, they are phenotypically normal, but on the other hand, genotypically, they are the carrier of that particular disease. Usually in case of recessive diseases, affected progeny is produced to the normal parents. Phenotypic proportions are usually seen normal in case of both sexes, and both the parents, they are phenotypically normal, but they have a children. If we see the proportion between the male children and the female children, we see that the proportion is almost equal, and the pattern of inheritance is that the parents, they are unaffected and they have the children. If we see such a pattern of inheritance, then we assume that the pattern of inheritance is autosomal recessive or recessive. Common recessive diseases which are usually seen in case of humans, they are Bloom syndrome, Carpenter syndrome, cystic fibrosis, thalassemia, many forms of the mental retardation. In addition to these disorders, we also see recessive diseases, which are Gaucher disease, glycogen storage diseases, Rotor syndrome, as well as many forms of the eye diseases. They are recessive in nature.